Good evening. This today is looking like a report from a twilight zone, the murky, grainy video, but my lighting in the office is either too sharp or just like that, backgroundish. A quick update on what to do with our little pieces to camera, and a couple of you have attempted to actually package the piece to camera and transform it into a news package. I have distributed Hakim's version as a good illustration on how you can transform a very simple piece to camera into a quite a successful news package built on a simple textual report. Now, most of you have gone for this kind of a textual structure of a news package, and there are basically two ways at this stage of approaching a news subject, a news story for television. One is to select representative pictures, footage, visuals that tell the story and construct this effectively like in any filmmaking and storyboarding or shooting script, or you can build it, which is simpler at your stage, from textual analysis. Now, if you are constructing a news package from a sequence of visuals, with you as the combining element, a bit of a piece of camera or totally a SOT, your basic task is either to explain fully what the pictures are saying, if they are not saying it fully, and usually the pictures need a little bit of contextualization or explanation, or alternatively, complementing what the pictures are not saying. So in a way, you do two elements adding to the pictures in your script. One is explain what the pictures are saying because people can't make it out fully and need a little bit of help. And the other one is add what the picture is not saying. Now, it's a real art to structure your 1.5 or 1:15 or 2-minute report so that it is cohesive and follows a certain structure or a narrative. And as we know, in doing news, we don't follow a chronological structure, but the inverted pyramid or top line and plus context, and build the story into the context and background. So the this is a more advanced way of telling the story. We started, because of our limitations and working remotely, from the textual axis or skeleton. So you have, most of you have basically followed agency copy or textual print way of telling a story, and related it in a broadcast version. This hardly ever works because when you broadcast, people absorb and digest information very differently than when they read. So if you want to relay textual story in a broadcast, it becomes too dense, too complicated, and basically doesn't gel with the audience very well. So we've had examples of people using officialese or very kind of diplomatic jargon in their report, or putting a lot of figures, facts, and numbers into a report, which makes it unpalatable. So we need to humanize our reports and make them more informal, more chatty, simpler. It doesn't mean more primitive, it means accessible. So we always aim at a universal audience, something that will be accepted by intellectual as a good storytelling and will be helpful to somebody who needs a simple way of storytelling. That is the universality of international journalism, which we aspire to. So Hakim has shown the way of injecting pictures or inserting pictures and visuals into his textual story, largely textual story. And as you have noticed, there is a little bit of him at the start, and then there's a little bit of him at the end. You might go again with a piece to camera in the middle, but usually if you are on location or explaining something or interviewing somebody which relates to the story. Otherwise, very often you start with the pictures straight away. If you're introduces this report from Hakim um, uh, in let's say Suleimania, and then you don't have to start with Hakim. In our circumstances and the way we're working on our pieces, probably it makes sense to start with you in vision, introducing the story. When you pick up from somebody, thank you, Andrew, and I'm going to tell you what's going on in Mali, where the election has been in jeopardy. And then you start inserting pictures while you or visuals while you're talking. And in order to reinforce or give the signature of the author, we usually turn up at the end, but not only to say hello, goodbye, just baccano, but to give a little bit of the word of wisdom, not so much opinion, but wider context analysis, or a little bit of prediction for the future before we sign off. So in our case, maybe not in all your reports, we can start with you in vision for 5, 7, 10 seconds to establish your authorship and your identity, and then maybe 15 seconds or something like that at the end when you round up your report, give a little bit of context or assessment, and hand over. So that would be the way we would be looking at building our pieces. Now, the way we insert those visuals is to make sure that they somehow relate to the script we are reading or telling. If the pictures are unrelated to what we're saying, that creates confusion, and people either follow the pictures and ignore the text, or ignore the pictures and follow the text. Or if they kind of mentally jump from the pictures to the text and can't see the connection, they switch off. So there has to be a reason why we are inserting a certain visual which relates to the text. Usually it shouldn't double up what we're saying, and the picture shouldn't be saying or showing exactly what we're saying in the report. Either the text complements the picture or the picture complements the text in this case. So make sure if you introduce visuals that they somehow relate to the story. Now, if there is duplication, the picture says what you basically are saying, then maybe there is a case to adjust your script. There is nothing wrong with short silences in your report. You don't have to fill in all the airtime with words. If you look, for instance, at how Ola Guerin, you can find her easily on YouTube, how sparingly she uses words. She speaks in short sentences with long breaks, and she believes in the power of short narrative interspersed with silences and the sounds from the footage she's using. This is the BBC at its best. You know, you can construct a very successful news story with 100 words or even 80 words, and it'll tell the whole story. So it's another example why, you know, assessment in word counts doesn't work for either broadcast or multimedia journalism. It's the power of the story and the effectiveness of telling the story. So this is what we're trying to do for this first news day. And if we are successfully put a program together, strung up of those hopefully 9 or 8 news packages, then this will put you in a very good stead to do a similar exercise, but on a higher and more complex level with Andrew on the 6th of May. This will be preceded by a second radio news day where we'll make a program, that is, we'll do audio packages rather than simply news bulletins, which was a primary simple exercise. So I'm looking forward to Wednesday. Let me know what you think about inserting into your visuals. Maybe you can experiment, send me some stuff by Wednesday. If you don't, we'll simply have a active, intense workshop on Wednesday, and we'll put them all together in the 3-4 hours that we have in our session, which will be probably a sequence of short Zoom sessions with you working in between times. So this is all for me on Monday evening. Good luck. You've done a great job. Most of you have very successfully produced those pieces, and I'm really impressed with the way you have gone about it. There are a couple of people missing though, and I'm still hoping to get something from those people. Have a good evening, good night, and I'll speak to you soon, and I'll see you all hopefully on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Bye. Good night.